The bakery at 200 South First Street sits in neither St. Paul nor Washington, D.C.
Lots of checks in town.
But it is in a capital city.
Kalachki capital.
Most certainly.
The Kalachki capital?
Jewel Frankie married into a family that's been baking the fruit-filled Czech pastry on Main Street, Montgomery since 1914.
These are Kalachki that were baked this morning.
Never mind, the recipe came from Europe. Montgomery has claimed the title Kalachki capital
The whole travel.
of the whole world.
Easy as that.
And it's hardly alone.
Over 50 feet tall.
For a humble people, Minnesotans spare neither pride nor fiberglass when it comes to pumping up their towns.
We are the corn capital of the world.
Olivia figures its many seed corn companies entitle it to capital city status.
You don't call it the corn cob, you call it the ear of corn monument.
We like our roadside monuments in Minnesota, but Baudette went a step further last year when it trademarked one of the state's most coveted titles, Walleye Capital of the World.
Turkey capital of the world.
Worthington settled things differently.
Turkey capital of the world.
After discovering it had competition for its title,
Suddenly we heard there was another one.
Please clear the road.
now it competes with Cuero, Texas in an annual turkey race
Go!
to decide which town can rightly wear the title,
Look at that bird go!
Turkey Capital of the World.
Wings are spread. He says, Daddy, I'm coming home.
The pace isn't nearly so fast in Longville, Minnesota, the self-proclaimed turtle racing capital of the world. But do get out of the way when the cannon sounds in Moose Lake, where the town celebration lives up to its name, Agate Capital of the World.
There's a nice one. It looks like a heart. Look at.
As the first city to stage a Halloween celebration in the 1920s, Anoka put in early dibs on Halloween Capital of the World, while Dorset figured 4 eating establishments and a town of a dozen people should qualify for something, then cooked up Restaurant Capital of the World. Bemidji set its sights a tad lower geographically, declaring itself Curling Capital of the United States. Then come a host of capitals of Minnesota, Rothsay for its prairie chickens, Caledonia for its wild turkeys,
Catfish capital.
and Franklin for its large, kissable catfish.
Probably about that long, probably about that fat. They're pretty big.
The state legislature named La Crescent Apple Capital of Minnesota,
Cooking is a creative art of love.
while Governor Rudy Perpich proclaimed Bram the state's homemade pie capital.
It's to the point where you could put a hole in the ground, and some town is going to try and make something out of it.
Welcome to Fountain, sinkhole capital of the USA.
Fountain, Minnesota has claimed the sinkhole title since 1991.
No one's contested it.
Tourists are invited to picnic by one sinkhole and admire another from a viewing platform.
Are they happy when they see him?
Oh, sure.
They just jump up and down.
With 800 turbines dotting the landscape, Lake Benton has taken to calling itself the original wind power capital of the Midwest. And turns out civic boosterism flows across state lines to western Wisconsin, too, where Ellsworth is the state-designated cheese curd capital. With its large processing plant, Barron has anointed itself Wisconsin's turkey capital.
I looked out the left side of my car and I could see this thing in the sky.
And Elmwood is still milking a series of 30-year-old sightings with the title UFO Capital of the World.
And it's ours.
Why do we do it?
I think it's taking a pride in the area you live in, and it makes a trademark for this special place that you call home.
Lutefisk.
Which means here in Minnesota, this was probably inevitable too.
We're cooking lutefisk. Can you smell it?
But if Madison is the lutefisk capital of the world, then most certainly this must be its king.
Jerry is definitely a legend in this part of the country.
Known for his insatiable appetite, Jerry Osteris has downed more than 8 pounds of the lye-soaked cod in a single sitting.
Nobody can keep up.
He's been crowned Madison's lutefisk eating champion 17 times. Would have been 18 if Jerry hadn't succumbed to the contest retainage rule.
Which means you have to keep it down for at least a minute after it's done. The only thing about it, it looks the same either way, going down or coming up.
In the land of 10,000 stories, Madison may have earned its title more honestly than most.
Here you go, big guy.
For any man to eat this much lutefisk should be a capital offense.
Open her mouth and put her in.